Stakeholders on gender equity have called for the adoption of a transformative approach to promote gender equality in Nigeria. The stakeholders said this at the third annual Transformative Gender Justice Conference organized by Christian Aid Nigeria with the theme Diversity and Inclusion, Empowering Communities for Transformative Gender Justice, Tuesday in Abuja. Clearview's Florence Joshua brings us details of the event.
With a renewed commitment, the federal government says it is resolute to eliminate all discriminatory religious and cultural practices hindering the growth and development of women in Nigeria. Minister of Women Affairs Uju Kennedy, whose speech was read by the Director of Gender and Development in the ministry, Funke Oladipo, said such practices were preventing women and girls from contributing effectively to the growth and development of the country. Also speaking, Temitola Fashola, the country director of Christian Aid Nigeria, said the aim of the conference is to deepen discourse on the imbalance in power dynamics in terms of women participation in decision-making processes.
Nigeria, as a member of the United Nations, as you may be aware, signed and ratified the various relevant international instruments, treaties, and conventions without reservation. These instruments have always emphasized that member nations put in place all necessary transformative mechanisms needed to eliminate gender discrimination, ensure equality and human dignity of all men and women.
All of those issues that affect women and affect men within the scope of gender justice are issues we're trying to address, and we believe that faith actors have a critical role to play in addressing these issues. And so it's a movement of faith actors, imams, pastors, even traditional leaders within their spaces and their communities, while they are raising those issues and trying to address these issues with respective communities. Today, we are launching two key documents. There's a manual on how to help faith actors address gender-based violence that we're going to be launching today. That manual is a manual that helps to put perspectives of the different scriptural references on what can be done as a faith leader to address the menace of gender-based violence in our country.
Other stakeholders present at the conference spoke on how the meeting could inspire them to achieve multifaceted objectives to empower women and girls to participate in governance. Chairperson Women in Parliament Ms. Blessing Ahmadine is of the belief that there was need for urgent legislation to ensure increased women participation in governance, as the group was championing it at the National Assembly.
In a world where gender inequity persists, despite increasing awareness, our gathering represents a beacon of hope and commitment towards meaningful change. The backdrop against which we convene is painted with the stark realities of discriminatory norms, unequal power dynamics, and social structures that perpetuate injustice, particularly affecting marginalized groups such as women and individuals with disabilities. Yet, within this landscape of challenges lies the potential for transformation through a unified effort.
The role of government, what do we do? I am suggesting that the Women Affairs Ministry should create a department for gender-related matters to groom our children, because we are including the boys now, not just the girls, to groom our children and make them to believe that they have to be trained to become useful citizens. It's very, very important. And I believe that in due course, we'll go and find out whether they have created, we need that department in Women Affairs Ministry.
Another thematics we would love to address is also about gender budgeting, putting money to issues that affect both men and women, boys and girls equally. And it's an appeal to law enforcement agencies that are combating sexual and gender-based violence to budget money for their gender units. It's an appeal to the police, CDC, Army, every structure that is addressing gender equality or addressing gender-based violence to budget enough money for their gender units.
When you talk about diversity and inclusion, for us, what it also means is about how much space do these girls have, how well are they heard, how much does their opinion count, especially on the issues affecting them.
Religious movements side-by-side co-chairs also highlighted the role of religious practice in peace building and its contribution to gender justice.
Faith leaders are very powerful because when they speak, they are supposed to be speaking on behalf of God. And that's why it's also dangerous for faith leaders to be uninformed.
Good thing, because Islam have addressed this more than 1,000 years ago about bringing women and men together, that women have some values of life to live. Islam are put in place, in the Quran, there are many verses that talk about women bringing women together. We, the men and the women, we pray together. We pray 5 times daily prayer. We fast in the month of Ramadan, and all the reward that are coming in the same.
This is the right time for information, to actually inform their congregation, their followers, about the rights of a woman in the society. Not only the woman, against any form of violence against women, violence against men, against boys, girls, against girls. Yeah. And also not only that, against any cultural norms.
The conference ended with a charge to seize the opportunity to reaffirm stakeholder dedication to gender justice while forging new partnerships as they mobilize for a collective action towards a more equitable future. Florence Joshua reporting for Clearview News Desk.